premiums, 3 premiums, or 4 premiums? Most of us have that question in the latest edition of the World Cup Fantasy. Watch to the end to make the decision easier. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we will be looking at a draft for 2 premiums as well as information about the World Cup Fantasy. Let's first start off by looking at the rules for this game. Just like FPL, the maximum players that you can have from one nation in the group stage is 3. After that, however, the number increases by 1 for every round that is advanced. For the final, you can have up to 8 players per nation in your fantasy teams. This system is just like that of the Champions League Fantasy if you have played it before. Next up is captaincy. This has been up for debate on Twitter as many people have different views on what the rule means. According to me, it's just like that of the Champions League Fantasy. You choose a captain first, that's usually riskier. Then if you do decide to change it, you can change it to another player and that's it. The second captaincy choice will be your final one if you do decide to change from your first one. Once again, just like UCL Fantasy and very different to the more famous Premier League Fantasy, substitutions are allowed to be made manually within a round. This means if you have a player who played on Sunday and performed poorly, you could sub him out for another player on your bench who plays later on in the week, but in the same round. The first player's points will then not count towards your gaming total. Instead, the points of the player you subbed in counts to the total. If you don't make any transfers, then any player that is in your starting 11 that hasn't featured will be subbed off for the first eligible player on your bench. On to the fun stuff in boosters, what we know as chips in FPL. We are provided with 3 in this version of the game, namely Wildcard, the 12th man, and the Power Captain. Wildcard is just like the chips in every fantasy game out there where you are allowed to make unlimited transfers ahead of the next round. The 12th man is something we haven't seen before. It allows you to add a 12th player to your starting 11. You will have an unlimited budget for the 12th man, and the max players per team rule doesn't apply to the 12th player. The last booster is the Power Captain, where you won't need to be making the captaincy decision for that round as the game will do it for you. The player with the most points from your starting 11 or bench will automatically be handed captaincy and his points will be doubled counting towards your point total. Lastly, the transfers allowed per round. You get 2 transfers after each match day in the group stages. Once the group stages are over, you are allowed an unlimited number of transfers to move on to the knockout stages. You then get 4 transfers to carry on to the quarterfinals and an additional 1 more for every advancing stage up to the finals. With all the rules being fully understood, we can now head on to the first draft, that is the 2 premium draft. Before I show you my 2 premium draft, I would like to clarify that a premium according to me is anyone priced at 10 million or above. The 2 premiums that should probably be in all of your teams are Messi and Neymar. Both Brazil and Argentina have looked quite strong in recent times and as a result have been given the 2 highest odds of winning the World Cup. With Messi directly contributing to 28 goals in the last 5 international competitions, he gets the armband from me. Neymar with 14 goal involvement in the last 4 international competitions shows why he should be in every draft as his group is relatively easy too. He will be my second choice captain if Messi fails to deliver. Because this draft consists of only 2 premiums, it has a lot of squad depth which is very necessary in a game such as this where subs are allowed mid-game. Lautaro Martinez is a great option too because of his fixtures being optimal and having one of the best providers in world football on his right. This game against Saudi does seem a high ceiling for the Argentinian. On to the midfield and we have the youngster from Bayern in Musiala. He currently tops the Bundesliga for GA, playing mainly as a center midfielder, which looks really good for the World Cup. We have seen how in recent times with the likes of Mbappe and James Rodriguez, potential youngsters may perform in big competitions such as this. He has a decent fixture run in the group stages with only Spain being the slightly tougher one in matchday 2. Next up is Valverde, who just looks like one of the best midfielders in the world at the moment. He has already racked up 12 goals and assists for Real Madrid this season and will be looking to make a mark on his first ever World Cup appearance. Next up is another young man in Olsen. He has averaged a goal involvement every 85 minutes this season and has already proven himself internationally, racking up 5 goals in the qualifiers. Bergwijn is nailed to start in their first game against Senegal as Depay did confirm that he will be out for that one. He is a bargain for 7 million playing out of position as a striker. He has already racked up 11 goal involvements in the first 14 games for Ajax in the Eredivisie. Perisic is an absolute must-have in my opinion because of his recent international success. He has racked up 13 goal involvements in his last 4 international competitions. That is just one less than Neymar's 14. Pretty easy first 2 fixtures do also increase the demand for the Croatian. On to the defense, and we start off with the enabler in BORNA, SOSA. He is a nailed fullback for the Croatian national team, and as I said earlier, their fixtures look too good to pass up. Only at 3.5 million, that is a must-have for every fantasy manager's team. Dumfries did pick up an injury in his final game for Inter before the World Cup break, but news has just broken that he did complete the whole training session. That does look like a promising sign. He was a Euro 2021 fantasy hero for all of you who did play that game. Maele's attacking threat, Denmark's defensive capabilities, and only being priced at 4.5 million makes him one of the best valued players in the game. He was another one who really shone in the Euros, and he has also done it this season, picking up 5 goals in the World Cup qualifiers. Cancelo and Trippier to finish us off with the defenders, as they are just way too good this season. From an FPL manager, both of these fullbacks have contributed a lot to my rank in recent times, and being nailed on for their respective national sides, they do look the best value for a combined total of 11 million. Lastly, the keepers, and a crowd favorite this one, in DIOGO COSTA. He has saved 3 penalties and provided 1 assist in the Champions League group stages this season. I have been told by a certain fantasy expert that he will give you at least 1 penalty save in the competition. He will be the main keeper in my side, and because of that, I don't need any second choice keeper, and thus I went for the Qatari Saad Al Sheeb, who has pretty decent fixtures in the first 2 games, and being the host, he might as well have the 12th man to help him make a few saves. This is my 2 premium draft for the World Cup Fantasy. I will be posting another video soon that will be discussing the 3 premium and even 4 premium drafts. So subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell so that you don't miss out on those videos. See you soon for the next one.